Notice to the public. If you wish to address the council, please complete a public wishes to address the council form located on either end of the counter. Give it to either the chairman or the council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. All individuals must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and actions, and comments shall be limited to the issues and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All cell phones and electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. I'd like to call this meeting of the Terrebonne Parish Council to order, and we will have the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Gerald Michel.
First of all, if we could just have a moment of silence for the passing of retired Chief Charlie Foreman, who's the father of Assistant Chief Farmer. Father of the Assistant Chief Dwayne Farmer. If we could have a moment of silence. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, watch over all of us this day and help us to do your will in every one of our actions that we do for ourselves, for our parish, for our state, for our country, and for our world. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Michel. Keith, can we please get a roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Domain,
Here.
Mr. Darren Guidry, Mr. Babin, Mr. Dirk Guidry, Mr. Trosclair, Mr. Tillman, Mr. Harding, Mr. Michel, Mr. Amadei. Madam Chairwoman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you so much. And before we get started, I would like to announce that we do have a special guest with us tonight. Assistant Attorney General, Miss Liz Murrell, is in the audience today. And so thank you so much for being with us today. I'm sorry, and former council member Wayne Thibodeau is with us as well as many members of our police and fire. Okay, and our nurses from Nichols also. So thank you all for joining us today. Approve the minutes of the regular council session held on February 8th, 2023. Moved by Mr. Dirk Guidry. Second by Mr. John Amity. Members, vote your machines. We have 9 yeas. Motion passes. Approve minutes of the special session condemnations on February 27th, 2023. Moved by Mr. Danny Babin. Second by Mr. Gerald Michel. Members, vote your machines. We have 9 yeas. Motion passes. Distribute minutes of the regular council session held on February 28th, 2023. Approve accounts payable lists for 3/6/2023 and 3/13/2023. Moved by Mr. Darren Guidry, second by Mr. Steve Trosclair. Members, vote your machines. There's 9 yeas. Mr. Carl is absent on here. Do you vote yay, Mr. Carl? Yes, he's voting yay, but didn't come up. Motion passes. Approve manual checklist, December 2022, January 2023. Moved by Mr. Darren Guidry. Second by Mr. Steve Trosclair. Members, vote your machines. We have 9 yeas. Motion passes. Item 1, general business, a proclamation proclaiming the month of March 2023 as Social Work Month in Terrebonne Parish. And I have the honor to read this as the only licensed clinical social worker who's serving in office in the state of Louisiana. This proclamation reads, whereas social workers enter the profession because they have a strong desire to help empower individuals families, communities, and our nation to overcome issues that prevent them from reaching their full potential. And whereas social workers have worked for more than a century to improve the human well being and enhance the basic needs of all people, made possible in part by following the code of ethics that calls on them to fight social injustice and to respect the dignity and worth of all people. And whereas social workers positively touch the lives of millions of Americans each day and in a variety of places, including schools, hospitals, the military, child welfare agencies, community centers, and in federal, state, and local government, helping people and communities cope with death or grief and recovering from natural disasters that are increasingly fueled by our warming climate, including hurricanes, droughts, and flooding. And whereas social workers are the largest group of mental health care providers in the United States, working daily to help thousands of Americans overcome mental illnesses such as depression and anxiety, and are in the front lines of the nation's opioid addiction crisis, helping people get the treatment they need and prevail over substance use disorders. And whereas social workers has helped this nation live up to its values by advocating for equal rights for all, including people of color, people who are indigenous, people who are LGBTQIA2S+, or people who follow various faiths. And whereas the social work profession is one of the fastest growing careers in the United States, with about 708,000 social workers today and more than 60,000 more social workers expected to enter the profession over the next decade, with social workers continuing to push for change that have made our society a better place to live, including a livable wage, improved workforce safety, and social safety net programs that help ameliorate poverty, hunger, and homelessness. And whereas the 2023 Social Work Month theme is Social Workers Break Barriers, embodies how social workers help empower individuals, families, communities, and our society to overcome hurdles that prevent them from achieving better well-being. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Terrebonne Parish Council on behalf of the Parish President, Gordon E. Dove, the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, that the month of March 2023 be hereby proclaimed Social Work Month in Terrebonne Parish, and that all citizens be called upon and join the National Association of Social Workers in celebrating and support of the social work profession. This was presented on the 15th day of March 2023, and it's signed by the parish president and myself, council chairwoman. And I do believe we have somebody to receive this proclamation today. Are you here? Yeah, come on up.
It's on. Go ahead.
I'm a social worker. I should be able to speak in public. Thank you so much, Terrebonne Parish. I've done this in Lafourche Parish before. It's very empowering to recognize a profession of social work. Like Jessica said, it's a growing profession, and it's really awesome that physical health needs and mental health needs are now being treated equally. We work so much towards the prevention of suicide. We work towards some of the mental health concerns that are increasingly hitting our youth, our young adults, and our adults and even elderly today to make this world a better place. So thank you so much for recognizing the profession of social work, and may we all be empowered to continue to enrich and improve the lives of others.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Item B, a proclamation proclaiming the week of March 12th through the 18th, 2023 as 2023 AmeriCorps Week in Terrebonne Parish. Mr. Carl Harding.
City of Homer, Louisiana, Parish of Terrebonne, a proclamation. Whereas service is a hallmark of the American character and has the unique ability to bring people of all backgrounds together in common cause. And throughout our history, citizens have stepped up to meet our most pressing challenge of the day-by-day volunteering in their communities. And whereas Army Corps and Army Corps Seniors Program provides opportunities for more than 200,000 Americans to serve their country through service of nonprofit schools, public agencies, and communities and faith-based groups across the country. And whereas AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps seniors volunteers encourage calibration and partnership, leveraging millions of volunteers in service and acquiring the support of businesses, foundations, and other local partners, increasing the effectiveness of their initiatives. And whereas Army Corps and Army Corps seniors programs bring people together across race, age, and zip codes to address critical issues facing the country, forge relationships, and cultivate mature respect and mutual respect, and help build reliance and thriving communities. And whereas through their service, AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps seniors volunteers demonstrate commitment, dedication, patriotism by making initiatives, commitments to service, a commitment that remains with them in their future endeavors and strengthens the lives of their families, communities, and Terrebonne Parish as a whole. And whereas national service would represent a unique public-private partnership that invests in the community solutions and leveraging non-federal resources to strengthen communities' impacts and increase the return on taxpayers' dollars. And whereas the Army Corps Week is an opportunity to recognize the dedication and commitment of more than 1.2 million Americans who have chosen to serve their country through Army Corps and millions more who have served the Army Corps seniors and their communities partners and encourage more Americans to follow their footsteps in service. Now, therefore, be it resolved by Terrebonne Parish Council on the behalf of the parish president, Gardner Dove, and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government that the week of March 12th through the 18th, 2023, be hereby proclaimed 2023 AmeriCorps Week in Terrebonne Parish, and that all the citizens be urged to thank Army Corps members, alumni, and volunteers for their service and to find their own way to give back to their community. Presented on this day, the 15th day of March 2023.
Jack and I would like to thank you. We are the only two AmeriCorps members we know in this parish right now. I am housed at Fletcher Community College, and my role in AmeriCorps is me and Jack both, we help our veterans find their military benefits after their service and help them transition to civilian life. We keep them in school, find resources to help them stay in school, and we really appreciate you recognizing AmeriCorps and the work we do.
Thank you so much for everything you do. Item C, a proclamation proclaiming the day of March 16th, 2023 as Retired Teachers Day in Terrebonne Parish. Mr. Daniel Babin.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair.
So on this, we don't.
I don't have the distinction of being a retired school teacher, but I do have the distinction of sleeping next to one every night, okay? So I'm honored to read this. Whereas Louisiana retired teachers have devoted their career to the education and training of tens of thousands of Louisiana youth, and whereas Louisiana retired teachers have provided jobs and social skills training for adults throughout the state, whereas Louisiana retired teachers have rendered valuable service in diverse leadership roles in their communities and institutions throughout their careers and continue to render such services as retirees. And whereas Louisiana retired teachers represent the profession which is given the basic responsibility of launching the careers of state and national leaders and for laying the foundation for the welfare of all members of our society. And whereas Louisiana retired teachers have toiled ceaselessly to improve the quality of life in the state and nation, often in less than adequate circumstances and for less than adequate pay. And whereas Louisiana retired teachers represent a tremendous pool of experience and training which remains dedicated to the betterment of society everywhere. And whereas Louisiana retired teachers represent a loyal, patriotic, and concerned citizenry which provides a dedicated and dependable support to the leaders in our community, state, and nation. Now therefore be it resolved by the Terrebonne Parish Council on behalf of Parish President Gordon E. Dove and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government that March 16th, 2023 be hereby proclaimed Retired Teachers Day in Terrebonne Parish, and that all retired teachers know their impact on the citizens of this great parish. Presented on this 15th day of March 2023, signed by Parish President Gordon E. Dove, Council Chairwoman Jessica Domingue, and endorsed by this entire council. And we have
Do we have anybody to accept this proclamation? Come up to the podium. Do you want me to turn on the timer? You got it, right?
I thought we did.
Congratulations, and would you guys like to say something?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lynn Elsie, and I'm president of the TRTA. And we do have another group of teachers who are represented tonight. Mr. Ernie Brown is president of our other group. And I want to let you know that we invited them to join with us to co-host the District 2 meeting that comprises 7 different parishes in our region. And this is going to be celebrated next week. And Mr. Gordy Dove is going to be there to do the welcome to all of these parish people who are going to be there. We're expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of 160 people. It's going to be packed. I'd like to introduce Ernie to say a few words.
On behalf of the RTEA, I'm president. We have some retired teachers here tonight, and I'd like to have them stand to be recognized.
Right, and my group too, yes.
We do have one.
Very much, thank you.
I have one light from council members. Mr. Darren Guidry.
Yeah, and I just wanted to, first of all, I want to thank y'all for all that y'all did and dedicated your life to. But I know bringing that to Homa, you guys had to have a part of that, and I want to thank you for thinking about your community also.
Right.
And I want more organizations out there to go after their associations, and let's bring these conferences and to Homa, because we can host that now with our facilities. Thank you so much for doing that, and I look forward to visiting you all at that conference. Thanks.
Good, thank you.
All right, we have one more light. Parish President Dove.
You know, me and Ernest Brown graduated from Terrebonne in 1975, and I guess we're now old enough, Ernie, to go be with the Retired Teachers Association, and we're honored to be retired.
And Ernie
Congratulations, Ernie.
yes, Ernie and I have the pleasure of having taught at South Terrebonne for many years together. So we've known each other a long time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to make a motion that we deviate on the agenda to item 3A.
I have a motion to deviate from the agenda to item 3A by Mr. Dirk Gidry, and I have a second by Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. Nine yeas. We're going to go ahead and deviate to staff reports. Item A. Ratify the parish president's appointment of Mr. Travis Terrio as Houma Police Department Chief of Police in conformance with requirements of the Terrebonne Parish Code of Ordinance. Before we have Mr. Travis up, we do have one speaker card. Ms. Lucretia McBride wishes to address the council regarding the appointment of Houma Police Department Chief of Detectives Travis Terrio as new Houma Police Chief. Ms. McBride.
Lucretia McBride, Drive, Houma, Louisiana. It's always the
Ms. McBride, we have a new system, we're trying to work it out. Are you pressing it or I'm pressing it? Okay, all right, you're good now. Yes, ma'am.
Are we good to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Lucretia McBride, 119 Burkwell Drive, Houma, Louisiana. It's always an exciting time to be able to witness the council ratify new appointments for people to be elevated up to a higher level. And with the police department, they've always served with, how do they say, dignity. They help victims. They take care of many, many challenging things. And I wanted to come and I wanted to show some support for Chief of Detectives Terrio. But unfortunately, I received an email, which was highly disturbing. It appears to have been sent to the council members. And I would like to give it to somebody and make a recommendation that you look at this. Maybe you hold over the appointment for a couple of weeks and look into this allegation. It's disturbing. I am not going to read it. I am not going to participate in what the contents are, but may I approach you or the parish attorney to give the email? And then y'all can make your decisions. Thank you for the opportunity to share it.
Thank you, Ms. McBride.
Make a motion to ratify.
All right, we have a motion to ratify Mr. Travis Terrio by Mr. Gerald Michel and can we get a unanimous? Yeah, I was going to ask for that. All right, I have a motion for a unanimous second. Members, vote your machines. Unanimous second. We need a motion to appoint. Oh, you're appointed. All right, congratulations. Yeah. I think you're on.
Yep, it's on. So, Parish President Dove, ladies and gentlemen of the council, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity of serving as the next police chief of the Houma Police Department. To my wife Amy, my children Brandon, Cameron, and Abby, I want to thank you for the support you've shown me throughout my career. Mom, Dad, I can't thank you enough for helping me become the person I am today. To my siblings and other family members, thank you all for the support, and I'll truly cherish all of our family time together. To all my friends and colleagues, thank you for showing your support in this very special night. It truly means the world to me to see everyone here. But I'd like to start off by asking that everyone please keep the family of retired Police Chief Charlie Farmer in everyone's prayers. Chief Farmer had 25 years of dedicated service to the Houma Police Department, retiring at the rank of Police Chief in 1987. At the present time, Chief Farmer still has family embedded within the Houma Police Department, as he is the father of Assistant Chief Dwayne Farmer and Administrative Assistant Lisa Badgeron, along with immediate family working for the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Department and the District Attorney's Office. We'd like to let the Farmer family know we are here for you as you mourn the loss of such an honorable man, Chief Charlie Farmer. As I stand here before you, I don't think words can express how grateful I am for this opportunity. I also don't know if I can possibly express how much I love this parish, city, and the men and women of the Houma Police Department. As I stand here before you, I want you to know that I'm committed. I'm committed to serving the community. I'm committed to serving with pride. I'm committed to serving with honor. I'm committed to serving with dedication. I'm committed to serving beside the men and women of the Houma Police Department as we move forward together as a team, as an organization, working towards one common goal of an even better Houma. As our agency moves forward, we will do so with determination, professionalism, understanding, empathy, and pride within ourselves to perform and serve the community to the best of our ability. I've often been asked what changes will be made, and I think we should first ask what changes need to be made. I can assure you whatever changes need to be made will be in the best interest of our community and our agency as a whole. We must also remember that law enforcement itself is constantly changing, and we must be able to adapt in order to be successful. On a daily basis, we are faced with new challenges as we attempt to adapt and overcome the criminal element that often plague our community. Unfortunately, this often involves youth, and we must find ways to redirect the path of these children before their path is chosen for them. To the dedicated members of the Houma Police Department, I would like to tell you how much of a privilege it has been to serve beside you throughout my career. You are the backbone of our agency, and your hard work and dedication does not and will not go unnoticed. I look forward to serving as your police chief and moving our agency forward, as I am confident that we will remain a model department. We have often heard that our agency is no stronger than the weakest link within it. Well, with that said, I feel that our chain is pretty strong, and I thank everyone for that. It is truly an honor to stand before you today as the police chief of the Houma Police Department and look forward to serving our community to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Chief, don't sit down yet. I promised we'd be able to have a little fun with you tonight. So we've got quite a few lights. So give us a little opportunity to praise you a little bit. First of all, Mr. Steve Trosclair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. Chief, welcome aboard. I'm sure you're gonna do an outstanding job as our new chief. But I just want to kind of go over some of the accreditations and commendations that you've received throughout your career. You know, we had, an introduction that kind of put a dampener on it, and I just want to let the public know that we didn't, that you are totally qualified and deserving of this job. I got one here, Master Public Information Officer, PIO Boot Camp in 2017. National Tactical Officers Association, 40-hour course, SWAT Command Decision Making Leadership in 2021. Federal Bureau of Investigation Basic Evidence Recovery School, 2004. Again in 2008. In Basic Crisis Negotiation, Task Force Commander Leadership, 2012. Safeguarding Privacy, Civil Rights, and Civil Liberties and Task Force Operations Online Training, 2012. Institute of Law Enforcement University at Monroe. Interviews, interrogations, and behavior analysis seminar. Emergency Management Institute, FEMA. Introduction to Incident Command Center in 2006. And I got this many more. Chief Travis, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Amity.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So that was some of the natural. Let's talk a little bit about the spiritual chief. And you got to get used to that. When they say chief, they're talking to you. All right. But I want you to know, as well as I see, a lot of EMS people in here from fire service, ambulance service, and so on. Know that there are people in this parish that pray for your success, your safety every single day. And when you guys are dealing with a difficult time, it is our hope that you feel those prayers to help you get through that. So again, I wish you all the success. We already know your track record. We know you're going to do a good job. And anything that we can do from this council, don't hesitate to come bug us. Everybody else does. You should just soon get your piece in as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Dirk Gidry.
Yes, Chief Terrio, congratulations, man. I know you've come a long way from playing cops and robbers down the bar, to the head man in the city of Houma. You have a daunting job in front of you, but I know you and your team, with the leadership abilities that you have, you're going to do a great job. And thank you, and thank your wife also, and your kids, for when you left out at night to go to work, hoping that you would come back safely. So it's not only you that deserves this, but it's your wife, your family, your mother, and your father, everybody. Because as we know in today's society, when you leave home as a police officer or an EMT or a fireman, you don't know if you're coming home, and your family doesn't know if you're coming home. So congratulations, and God loves y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gidry. Mr. Darren Gidry.
Yeah, Chief, and congratulations. And I know you'll do a good job. And one of the reasons I know you'll do a good job is because this process didn't happen overnight. Of course, the Civil Service Board went through and said you scored very high to be chief of this police department. Administration vetted over a long period of time and said you were the right person. We introduced you 2 weeks ago, right? And in the entire 2 weeks, we as council people, I personally met you and talked with you, and we vetted. This is not a decision that we made overnight. We looked at this over a long period of time, and we decided you are the man for the job. And I think we made a great choice. I'm looking forward to working with you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
We're not done yet. Mr. Babin.
Yeah, Chief, it's with great pleasure that we see you taking this position, okay? I know you've worked very, very hard for it. You come from a family that I've been knowing all my life, all right? And just good, solid, down-to-earth people. And I know that's what you're going to do in your position. Along with what Steve said and also Darren, he not only scored one of the highest on the test, he scored the highest on the test along with one other person, okay? And that to me is very impressive because I doubt if any of us up here could pass that test. So thank you very much for what you've done and what you're going to do for the city of Houma and Terrebonne Parish.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Harding.
Yes, I'm going to repeat what I said to you when we had our conversation. And but I want everyone else to hear part of our conversation. When people come up to you and say that you have some big shoes to fill, that's not so. You're the fire chief. You're the police chief. And that's what they have to really realize, that you can't be compared to anyone else. When you mention and your acceptance is the fact that people ask you what changes you're going to make. And all I'm asking, just like I said to you, and I'm saying to everyone out there, and everyone else should ask of you to be you. You have the training. Steve mentioned all the qualifications you have. I'm pretty sure the civil service system is going to actually basically take care of itself. Now, you're only as good as the men that follow you.
100%.
Yeah, and that's it. You know, maybe we can't put no more on you because I've learned when I came up here. I want everybody else to understand that, the real part of it. You can put all kind of accolades on you as much as possible. When the decision is made, it's your decision. And I appreciate the conversation that we had. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Mr. Tillman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Congratulations, Chief. I won't repeat any of the accolades that have been forwarded to you thus far. It's been well done. Just like to ask you one thing to consider. I've gotten many folks to ask me over the years about the bike patrol you guys used to have. So I'm asking that in your quest to consider bringing back the bike patrol. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Michel.
Chief, congratulations, sir. Okay, and that's I can't top what everybody else has said. Everything's true. Everything's wonderful, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud to know that you're going to be the police chief and are the police chief for the city of Houma, and I wish you the best and Godspeed to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
President Duff.
Yeah, and it is again, Chief Terry, it was my honor to pick you among your peers to lead this police department. Look forward to working with you. My hat's off to the other candidates for their great interviews and their great input as well. And of course, to Chief Coleman, who put in quite a few years in the police department. And you got some big shoes to fill, but I know you can fill them, and we look forward to working with you. And God bless you and your family, and y'all have a great night and celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And Chief, I certainly hope you have a great night, and we definitely look forward to a very, very long working relationship with you. So enjoy your night, and I'll be calling you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. Thank everyone again. Thank y'all.
We're going to go on a 6:30 public hearing.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to deviate
I have a motion to,
to 6:30 public hearing.
I have a motion to deviate to 6:30 public hearing. Yeah, we will. By John Amity, a second by Mr. Dirk Gidry. Members, vote your machines. Yeah. Turn on our voting machines. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, we're going to go into 6:30 public hearing, but I am going to give a few moments for the room to clear. Six 6:30 public hearing. Item A, an ordinance to declare a tax property located at 300 Willowdale Drive adjudicated to the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government and to acquire authorization to dispose of said property in accordance to Louisiana Revised Statute 47:2196. Wait, public once? Public twice? Third time public. Motion to close by Mr. Dirk Gidry, second by Mr. Carl Harding. Motion to adopt by Mr. Carl Hard. I'm sorry. Members, vote your machines. All right, public is closed. Motion to adopt by Mr. Carl Harding and a second by Mr. Dirk Gidry. Members, vote your machines. Motion passes. Okay, we have a motion to deviate and go to item 3B by Mr. Steve Trosclair and a second by Mr. Dirk Gidry. Members, vote your machines. We are going to deviate and go to item 3B. We have 9 yeas. Item 3B, pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 42:16-17, the parish council may, upon 2/3 affirmative vote, convene into executive session to discuss possible prospective litigation regarding the following: the state of Louisiana, Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government with other parishes and entities regarding and concerning FEMA 2.0 assessments, flood insurance, and potential defendants. Moved by Mr. Dirk Gidry, second by Mr. Daniel Babin. Members, vote your machines. Yep. Yes, we're going to go into executive session. Mr. Misha, I'm sorry, Mr. Abear, who would you like to send into executive session? Sorry, Jules, you're on now.
The council members, the parish president, Dove, parish manager, Mike Toops, CFO Candace Malden, planning director, Chris Pulaski, parish attorney, Julius Abear, the solicitor general from the AG's office, Elizabeth Murrell, and assistant attorney general, one of her lawyers, Morgan Brungard.
Motion to concur on this?
We
Yeah.
do, but we gotta go back in the session.
We have a motion to go back in regular session by Mr. Steve Trosclair, a second by Mr. Darren Gidry. Members, vote your machines. We're back in regular session. That was 9 yeas.
I'd like to make a motion that we concur with the administration in the following suit with FEMA 2.0, flood insurance. With the Attorney General's office.
We have a motion to concur with administration by Mr. Dirk Gidry, a second by Mr. Alvin Tillman. Members, vote your machines. Can we vote one more time? I have two absents. Yeah.
Mr. Michel's not in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we wait for Mr. Michel?
We don't have to.
Okay, all right. Members, vote your machines. We have 8 yeas. Motion passes.
Motion to go back in the regular session.
Motion to go back in regular session by Mr. Dirk Gidry, second by Mr. Alvin Tillman. Members, vote your machines. Met regular order. We have 8 yeas. We're back in regular order. Item D, Mr. Lawrence D. Hart, Terrebonne Churches United Food Bank, wishes to address the council to provide an update regarding the food bank.
Everybody comes in and asks of you guys. I want to say thank you. The TCU Food Bank has been around for 35 years. And for 35 years, we've had a working relationship with members of this council over the years. And we're very proud and honored. And every time we come to the council, for the most part, we tend to get the assistance that we need. So it's a situation that instead of everybody coming to you for something, we'd like to give you guys something. For the 35th anniversary, we'd like to thank the Terrebonne Parish Council for their 35 years of dedication and service to the TCU Food Bank. Can I get a picture with all of y'all?
Would you like to come up?
However you want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, come stand right in the front.
Mr. Lawrence.
You want to stay sitting, let people stand behind us so we can crowd in?
Yeah, we can kind of bunch up a little bit.
Just keep sitting down. Nobody- Oh, okay, yeah. Come on in.
Thank you so much. This is lovely.
Here's the case. But the other thing is, on the 28th, the CEO of Entergy Corporation, Spud, was able to get a small grant through, they bought us a trailer for our emergency distribution and this, and they're going to be buying a dedicate. So in this forum, I'm personally extending an invitation to every council person. It'll be 10 a.m. at the food bank, and the CEO of Entergy will be making the dedication. So I invite each one. But thank you guys for everything that you do. I work with many of you guys for the EOC and for a lot of different projects, and you've always been listening, and thank you. And we just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. We have a couple lights, though, okay? Stay up there. Mr. Dirk Gidry.
Mr. Lawrence, I'd really love to appreciate you and your food bank for supplying the foods and the products that you guys sent down to me during Hurricane Ida. It was so greatly appreciated. The people were in bad shape at the time, and you guys came through and stepped up and did a great job. So my hat's off to you and your whole administration. But you guys are doing pretty good financially.
I would like to say yes, but no. After 2 years of COVID, and then the numbers keep climbing, we went from 21,000 to 27,000 people served. Last year, it was over 30. Unfortunately, in the economy that we're facing, we're dealing with significant increase in our seniors who are age 65 and older who can afford $5 loaves of bread and $5 dozens of eggs. We're seeing the highest number of new clients that meaning we haven't seen them in 5 years through it. And but we, like we do, we get up every day, we give it to God, and we beg for help, and that's why Spud's here. And
I'm a beggar.
yeah. But, we sit there trying, and as long as there's a can of potted meat, like Spud says.
Beefaroni.
Beefaroni.
Y'all are high clay. Y'all get beefaroni.
Okay, but we're fighting the fight. We're looking for other sources, and we're trying to do what's right by the parish. We do write grants, because most people don't know that we survive solely by donations and grants. We, just a new program we got in from the Red Cross, they gave us $10,000 for those people who are leaving the hospitals in this parish, that we can home deliver when the hospital determines that they are food insecure. That will affect their recovery, no matter what their income status is. So we got the Red Cross to give us $10,000 to cover my home delivery charge. So starting next month, we're working with Terrebonne General, and we're home delivering the food services to those people that they determine the need. I can't afford to get in home delivery, but the Red Cross made it possible. This is an innovative program that is the only one of its type in the state, and Red Cross USA is watching it. They might even consider instituting it nationwide.
Well, I wish that, a lot more people would give you donations, because maybe some of my council members or the public don't know it, but Louisiana is the #1 state in the United States where our elderly 65 and older are in poverty the most, in the state of Louisiana.
Yes.
And I know that a lot of parishes give you monies for food donations, but it looks like, maybe Candace or whatever, on our next budget that we come up with next year, that we could at least find them some kind of monies, because we give nothing to the food bank. And if I can remember Mr. DeHart coming years ago saying that, and I don't know if it holds true today, but every dollar that we give him turns into $7 that he could buy in groceries. So, I mean, if we could find $200,000 to give him, he could buy $1.4 million in groceries for our people that need it. And, and another, that's people that's hurting today. Everybody's for food stamps. And another thing, 21% of our nation's military is on food stamps. That's sad for a country like we got, when we're going to send our guys to war, or the potential to go to war, and they're on food stamps. And all these people that I mentioned, 65 years and older, they worked hard all their life. They didn't make a lot of money. We just came back from an executive session where insurances are killing everybody. But, we need to donate something to the Terrebonne Parish Food Bank. They're in our backyard. We need to give these people something, because what he does is great. Because I tell you, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it every day when Mr. Lawrence, with his food bank, was coming down these bars and trying to help these people. So, whatever Candace that we can try to find, I mean, even if it's $1, it turns into $7. So we need to do whatever we can for Mr. DeHart.
Ms. Malden?
Yes, sir. So I just want to let you know, Mr. Guidry, that this year through the American Rescue Plan, we were able to give them some money as a grant. So we will look for it next year, but I did want you to know that they did qualify as part of that nonprofit grant through the American Rescue
Okay,
Plan.
but let's see if we can put something in our budget for every year.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Harding?
Yes, even though you came to give us an award, I don't know if we're gonna pass it from one to the other, but I think that you still being humble and giving. And every time that we've sent groups over there to you and your assistants, and I'm pretty sure, unlike some secretaries, you don't make a whole lot of money.
No, sir.
But the thing about that is that it's not just here. It's anywhere people that needs. And I'm telling all my colleagues, every time I went to this gentleman, he actually exceedingly and abundantly above what I asked for. And I appreciate you. And it was so nice for you still giving. And I just want to say I appreciate you.
You're welcome. We do love you guys.
Thank you,
And we
Mr.
have a lot of shoes.
Yes.
We got a lot of shoes right now. So if y'all want some shoes,
Convoy of Hope
Convoy.
delivered us 4 truckloads, one from Academy Sporting Goods, one from Cato, one from Stag, and one from potpourri. We've been giving it out to charitable organizations. There was 26 pallets per in, because most people don't realize that while we have some walls up with some of the houses that have been messed up, there's nothing on the walls, and it's not a home unless there's some decorations. So we've been giving that out to different organizations and as such. And one of the things that Dirk talked about, we were just invited to a national conference where 300 of the top NGOs, non-governmental organizations, were invited for emergency response. And we were there by invitation and just from our efforts with HIDA. Yeah.
We're the
So-
only ones our size invited to this
Yeah,
thing.
when you're up there with the Samaritan's Purse, Convoy of Hope, when you're there with God's Promises, it was pretty awe-inspiring. But and as a matter of fact, one of the organizations even paid our fee to be there. So it's we're humbled because we love this parish. Every day, there are 30,000 people that depend upon what we do getting up and every day. It's not always a fun job, but you know what? We got some bread a few months back, and when I watched this lady in her 70s ask what was in the box, there were 4 loaves of bread. She reached around the box back and she hugged the back. And so I asked her, "Are you okay?" And she says, "I can't afford bread at its current price. I haven't had bread in 6 months." And this woman is hugging a box with 4 loaves of bread in it. And if that doesn't humble you and some of the things that we see in D, and I have so many wonderful stories, but I really wanted to be tonight about you guys and to thank you guys and let you know that, you know, we work, y'all fix Crescent so the 18-wheelers can come in the back. And we appreciate you.
I have one more light, Mr. Dehart.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Guidry.
Yeah, and Lawrence, thank you for what you guys do. We need to find a way through creative financing, like was done this past year, yes, to help you guys out as much as we can. And also, I don't know if you mentioned about the glass mendacity.
That's gay.
That is coming, and in fact, you told me about it, and I quickly went online and bought 2 tickets. It's easy to do. Why don't you tell them about it?
This is a fundraiser that we're doing, okay? And it's a play. It's a very, very funny play I've done before. It is a takeoff on 3 Tennessee Williams plays, and it's called The Glass Mendacity. And we're calling it Finger Food Theater because we're gonna have food. It's like a dinner theater, except it's like food you get at a wedding, you know? No table. Well, there's tables, but you can sit down. If you want to pay extra, you can watch the play from a recliner in the front row. But tickets are $40. I'm going to leave a little stack of these things with you guys. There's a QR code on the back. This will tell you more about it. But all of the money raised here goes strictly to the food bank to buy food for different organizations. And we're getting as much free stuff as we can. I got a good friend of mine in the theater who has lights and sounds. He's donating it and he's setting it up for us for free. Mike Fessy has given us the event center for free. So we're trying to knock it out as cheaply as we can so we can generate that much more money. So I got 3 performances with 300 seats apiece. So spread the word. And that's 14th and 15th and 16th of April.
Just one last comment. For 35 years, we are your local food bank. We've been here every day. And the money we get, we spend here. Our employees are paid from money that's here. When we build a building or when we get money to spend here, it's done here. And I have each one of you I consider a friend, and it's an honor to have you. And I want to do a shout out to our parish president because in my long time, and he knows how I feel about him already, we've never had a parish president step up and help us the way that Gordy has over the years. So we just really, it's our 35th anniversary. We want to say thank you, and we love you, and we love everyone in Terrebonne.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Item 2, council members request discussion of, item A, discussion relative to communication process between the parish administration and the parish council members. Mr. Gerald Michel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, I've been in the council for 7 years, and it's not an easy thing to do well. Okay, it could be an easy thing to do, but it's not an easy thing to do well. And I've said over and over again that a councilman has 3 responsibilities. One is to represent their district well. The second one is to represent the parish well. And the third one is to serve as checks and balances over administration. And, so to do that and to attend these meetings, we need to have information. And I have always had a little bit of difficulty getting information because when I contact department heads, I'm told that I need to go through the parish president, unlike other council members are told, okay? And when I request certain records or documents on issues, I'm told that I have to go through a public records request. And this is not the way to make this job easier for anybody. This is not the way to forge relationships between administration and the parish council. And more importantly, if I'm the only one being treated in that manner, there's a serious problem with that. This is an attempt to stop me from doing my job as an elected official. And so, I just want to know if all members of the council are under the same rules and regulations that I am, and if their communication is just as difficult or if it's not, because I do not want to be treated unfairly. The people of District 3 do not deserve that, we need to try to move forward in as amicable a manner as possible.
Mr. Duff?
Michelle, you get all the information that's afforded to you by this administration when we send out what we feel that you need to get. You go over and above, looking for, going after every little thing to undermine this government, and I will not waste my time on you. You get the information. This is what you choose to do, is not work with this administration, and I'm not going to work with you. We build a lot of things in Terrebonne Parish without your help. And we do a lot of services. We do a lot of projects. We deal with engineers. And when you're told to go to Mike Toops, and Mike will give you the information. But we're not here to serve you. We give everybody up on this council forum right here the information they need. I deal directly with most of them, and we build a lot of projects working with people. Now, if you ever choose to work with this government instead of against it, you might find a better day that you can represent your people. Thank you.
Mr. Babin?
Yeah, I have to agree with Mr. Michel on a lot of what he said. I also am excluded a lot of times. I've never not gotten information from Mr. Toops or any other any other department head that I asked. But all I'm asking is a simple thing. When Travis Terrio was going to be appointed the police chief, 7 council members up here got Texas on it. I didn't, and neither did Mr. Michel. I take offense to that, and I wish that we could have a better line of communication, but evidently we don't. But it's not just Mr. Michel. I am excluded as well on a lot of things, and I just want the general public to know that District 7 is I'm very passionate about the district that I represent, and I would like for the communications to be a lot better. I am no different than the other 7 members or the other 8 members on this council that deserve, if the parish president is sending out a text, something that I have to vote on, I would appreciate getting that. Thank you.
Mr. Duff?
And I'm going to answer that with a ditto with you, Mr. Babbitt. This is my private phone. In my private home, I will text whoever I want. If I want to text 7 council members, I will. If I want to text 9, I will. But you will receive the information just like Mr. Michel. There again, I'm going to say the same thing to you that I tell Mr. Michel. You might find working with administration instead of against it, you might be enjoying your last 10 months up here. But as far I pay for this phone, I text whoever I would like. You and Mr. Michelle are blocked on my phone. You are not blocked on none of these people sitting up here. They will send you the information you need. That's the way y'all chose it. That's the way it is. I don't have time to fool with y'all shenanigans. We got a lot of projects. We're in the middle of all this here hurricane, and I'm not going to play these games. This is my phone. I pay for it. Government don't pay for it. And when I text them, I'm in my private home. I do not have to text you two, and I'm not going to text you two. Y'all can sit up there and whine all you want. That's not going to happen.
Mr. Trosclair.
Yeah, just a quick note. Danny, I'm not sure what 7 you're talking about, but I didn't get any text to Chief Coleman's going away party either. So I'm not sure. I don't know anybody else, but I'm assuming the 2 out of the 7s, you and Gerald, that you were referring to, but I didn't get one.
Thank you, Mr. Trosclair. Mr. Babin.
Yeah, well, I happen to be an elected official just like the rest of these people. And whether you're working out your house, Mr. Dove, like you have been for the last 3 years, or you're working in your office, I would like to give you the respect that you give me, which is none. All right. So to say that you don't have to do it, that's personal. We're elected officials, but you don't mind coming here and wanting my vote on something, okay? But again, evidently you don't need our 2 votes. So thank you.
Mr. Dove, I have to turn off Mr. Babin's mic, and I'm going to turn your mic on. Mr. Dove.
And I believe what Mr. Trosclair is talking about, I didn't text anyone about the retirement party that they had. It was put on by the police department. I went, I sent it was an oversight by the administration or by the police department, by whoever. I think 3 or 4 councilmen showed up. The rest of them was not invited. We did not put that together. So I did not send anyone, or did not send anyone unless they talked directly to the police department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dove. Mr. Michel.
Thank you. Your statement of if we would be working with you rather than against you. So to paraphrase that, if we don't agree with everything that you want us to do, then we're working against you, and you're not going to do anything to give us the information we need or to cooperate with us in any way. And if you're waiting for me to agree on $1.5 million a month payment for anything, then you got another thing coming. Okay. Now, our agreement should have nothing to do with the manner in which you treat us or me or any council person. And I'm going to continue to be a diligent council member with all 3 aspects of my responsibilities, not just the ones that you want me to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Michel. Mr. Babin, this is your 3rd time? Yes, okay, all right.
I was not referring.
I'm sorry, I didn't have you on. Mr.
I
Babin.
was not referring to the party or the going away party for Chief Coleman. I was referring to a conversation I had with a fellow council person that when they found out that you were going to appoint the Chief Terrio to the thing, that you said to that individual that I got 7 people I need to contact. That's where I'm coming from on that, Mr. Dove. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Parish President Dove. This is his 4th time to speak for the record. Yes.
Well, I will act according. With the way this administration is run, we've done more projects than ever in the history of Terrebonne Parish. If you 2 decide y'all want to work with the administration, I will work with y'all, but I will not play around with the people of Terrebonne. As far as your 2 votes, you don't vote with me, you vote with the people of Terrebonne Parish, because the things that I bring forth, it's pretty hard to vote against it because it's for the greater need of Terrebonne Parish. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dove. Mr. Tillman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The night's been very, very interesting. being back on this council has been very, very different, very, very different. But it's one thing that I've learned over the years. I've served here for 3 terms, and I've heard various things said. I've heard various challenges made, and my conclusion have always been that sometimes I don't quite understand it. 95% of everything that we do here, administration, legislators, 95% of everything we do, we all agree on it. But it's that 5% that seems to be in somewhat of a snag. And I'm hoping that we can get beyond those indifferences as legislators and as administrators and just be about the business of the people. Now, tonight we've been back and forth here for about 15 minutes, back and forth. What have we accomplished with that? We accomplished nothing. I'm going to say what I want to say. Each council member up here going to say what they want to say. The parish president going to say what he want to say. But at the end of the day, it's about taking care of the people's business. And I hope that we never forget that perspective of taking care of the people's business. And remember, 95% of what we do here, we all agree. But we just can't seem to get beyond that 5%. And I'm hoping before I exit out next month, we'll at least get it down to 2%. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Tillman, and I have really enjoyed hearing your perspective on this council for the last few months. It's been very refreshing. Item B, discussion relative to an update on FEMA reimbursements for Terrebonne Parish. Mr. Gerald Michel.
Okay, they're passing out a spreadsheet that was texted to 7 council members. And it looks like good information, but there's some questions about it. And Miss Candace needs a copy too.
Ms. Candace, do you have a copy or do we need to hand you one? Okay.
And I would just like your comments on this, if you don't mind. Tell us what this includes, what it might not include.
Yes, sir. So this is actually part of the state legislature that passed for disaster recovery. It is 12 million, and you will see that the grant award amount is different for each outside agency within Terrebonne Parish. So Terrebonne Parish as a whole will be receiving 12,117,511. The way that the state legislatures had created this allocation based on the 12 million was at the time, which it was beginning of January, they went to grant portal where the agencies will have submitted FEMA public assistance requests. And at that time, they determined based on that, that was what their damage value was, and there was a formula. And if you had greater than 3 million, you got the 2,043,000. If it was less than 3 million and greater than another number, you got the million. So there was a formula to how this was allocated. I will tell you that we have not gotten the money yet from the state. We're still waiting on an assigned CEA back from them. I also have not gotten from the state, and Jerome Zrang and I talked about it last week, what we need from these outside agencies in order to give them the funding once it comes. It can be used for disaster recovery. What they said they really intended for it to be used for the very beginning was to help with the outside agencies' 10% match of FEMA public assistance. So that's why they went to the grant portal and determined what had been submitted to come up with that 10% to be able to help with that local match.
And
Mr. Michel, let me put your mic back on, sir. You have to request though. Okay. Shut up again. Can you? Oh,
okay,
Mr.
thank
Michel.
you. So, and the estimated FEMA payments, that's just something that was used in the formula to determine what the state was going to give us?
So the estimated FEMA payments, I believe, would be the 90% of the total damage. So that's how we came up with the 10% match.
Okay, and because it said for Terrebonne Parish estimated is 111 million, and that number just sounds lower.
It's very low, and in fact, if you even look at some of them, I can tell you like Rec 11's is very low. Some of the other organizations are very low. This is what we had at that point in time in January in the grants portal with FEMA. We are constantly adding to this every day. Our 100 million probably doesn't cover, I think we have almost, 204 million in expenses or something. So it just was what was at that time. It was a capture of time that the state got. They had to have some kind of way to be able to do a formula and calculate what they were given to everybody. So that's what they did.
Thank you, Ms. Candace.
Mr. Darren Gidry. I'm sorry, Darren seemed to have stepped out. Mr. John Amity.
Ms. Malden, I just caught a part of something, but so all this money comes through the parish government and then goes out
Yes,
to
sir.
those entities. So they shouldn't be looking for something coming directly from FEMA. It'll be coming to the parish and then from the parish to them.
Correct. They should not be looking directly for FEMA. They also shouldn't be looking for it in the next
Yeah,
month.
right.
Because I still
And-
have to get it from the state and I still have to determine what the agreements will be. We have
Right.
reached out to most of them and let them know because this has been out there.
Okay, that's
that
why I was
once
bringing it
we
up
know.
because I'm sure we'll probably get some questions.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So
that
once
way
we
have the right answer.
know how it needs to go about, we will reach out to each one individually and tell them the process.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amity. Mr. Babin.
Yeah, and I think the reason this is on here tonight, because when it was texted out to the 7 people, there was no explanation with it, okay? And we're just trying, as I talked to you today, Candace, about the article that was in HomaToday.com about $80 million coming to, well, it wasn't just Terrebonne, because as you found out, some of it went to Baton Rouge, but Terrebonne Parish was only getting 2.9 million and Sleeker was getting 76 million. Without any explanation in it, it makes it difficult for us, first of all, to even understand, all right? So, I mean, when this was texted out, this didn't do anybody any good because there was no explanation to explain exactly what was going on there. So thank you for your explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. And Ms. Malden, is this public record, this sheet that was handed out to everybody?
I would have to defer to legal. I would think it's public record. It will be once we have the signed, completed CEA.
Okay, all right. And so once it is public record, I would like to let people know that I made a few phone calls about this because I was concerned about how low Recreation District 11 was. And Recreation District 11 on here says that there was only $53,000 worth of damage, when really in excess, they have submitted over $2 million worth of
Correct.
damages. So I would like to let the people of Terrebonne Parish know that that's a very, very low number that was on here, but that was not what was submitted by Recreation District 11. So thank you, Ms. Malden. Item C, discussion relative to the temporary power plant, its usage, requirements placed upon us by MISO related to the temporary power plant, resolution number 22-197, which was used to create the pad for the temporary power plant and the RFP process for the continuation of the temporary power plant. Mr. Michel. Mr. Hebert.
It is my advice to the council that this matter not be discussed in the public. It is set for executive session under item C. This interwines confidential information about an RFP. It interwines in confidential information with the confidentiality agreements with some parties, and it interwines litigation. And I made this all clear, not only, I'm saying this publicly, but I made it all clear to y'all before. So it is my advice as the chief legal officer that we did not get into item C. That's why it was put on the executive session. We can go into executive session. There are some items that have to be passed. For example, the RFP is under investigation, and I don't want to get into it publicly. Okay? So this matter needs to be put into executive session so we can go in and discuss it and the questions can be answered at that time. And I'm asking y'all to honor my request to not discuss this publicly as the chief legal advisor and defer to executive session.
Okay. I disagree with him. The only thing that I come close to, and I'm not there, but the only thing I come close to agree with him on is possibly the discussion of the RFP. but there's nothing in the lawsuit that's going to be discussed or that's proposed to be discussed in executive session that should stop us from knowing what we should have known 6 months ago about the documentation that supports MISO saying that we need this power plant in the first place.
Mr. Aber, can you please press your button?
Point of order, again. Mr. Michel, we have signed some confidentiality agreements. You got to understand, and I'll explain it to you, and I have explained it to you under attorney-client privilege. But you must understand that we belong to LEPA, an energy authority that deals with MISO, which is a market maker, and that they have put us under confidentiality agreements because LEPA, as a public authority that deals with MISO, and MISO has commercially sensitive information. And so we have signed agreements with them and have gotten our consultants that had to even sign agreements. Again, we can go in the executive session and try to answer your questions and try to explain it to you what you need to know. But I'm asking you, out of abundance of precaution, it is intertwined with the lawsuit. Because there are things that go, and most of y'all know this, okay? There are things that go hand in hand between insurance, FEMA. There are issues about different properties. And so my advice to you is not to discuss this. This is a matter that should be discussed in executive session. Okay.
Okay, and I've heard from two separate council people that when they contacted parish attorney about whether or not there was litigation involved, the parish attorney replied no, and then had to correct himself later and said, "Oh yes, there is." And one of the things that tells me,
number one is I don't know.
You have to press your button, Mr. Aber. I'm sorry, you have to press it again.
Point of order. First of all, I don't know who you're talking about. Second of all, whatever I said to anybody would have been said under attorney-client privilege. And third of all, I don't know who you said contacted me about any litigation. I think it was well known that we filed a lawsuit of Mr. Michel. You even had a copy of it yourself yesterday. So I think it was well known that we had to file a lawsuit. What council people are you talking about? Because I'd like to know.
And he makes a good point.
No, hold on a second. What council?
So I'm not answering that question.
Okay. Second of all, you disclosed to me that you talked to another attorney. So I don't even know who you talked to. Yesterday, you told me you talked to an attorney.
No, sir, I never said that.
Okay.
Mr. Dirk Guidry. Did I say that? I mean,
yes, you did. Okay.
I have no idea.
Well,
Okay,
no,
okay.
I mean, it would have been when we met with him.
Oh.
Press my damn
Oh. Okay.
Mr. Dirk
I
Guidry.
have never talked to Gerald about him, about an attorney.
Not you, Dirk. That's not what I. That's
Yeah,
not
well,
what I said.
let me tell you, don't throw me in this shit.
I didn't throw you in it. I didn't say anything to you. He said something.
Don't
to
do
you.
it, because I hate.
Not me. He said it.
My question, Mr. Guidry, the three of us, you and I were in a meeting with the parish attorney, and my question to you is, did you hear me say anything that I spoke to another attorney?
No, sir.
Thank you. Okay, and this just all smells bad. It all smells like we're trying to cover up from the general public. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it smells like to me. And I'm just, if the chair asks that we not discuss it, I will honor that. But I'm not going to go into executive session with it.
Mr. Tillman, did you have your light on? Okay. All right.
I apologize for cursing, guys.
Yeah. Mr. Babin.
Yeah, and Jules, I can see where you want to go into an executive session, okay? But some of this should have been information that we had publicly when we voted on this 7 months ago. Am I correct? the information on the authority to even put it on the agenda for us to vote on it. Was that not public knowledge at that time?
Mr. Babin, let's step back a second. First of all, we had a hurricane. So that's first. Second is, during an emergency, the parish president handles the emergencies. Third of all, everybody knows that there was damage, especially to the power plant that's not running. There were contracts that were voted on, that came up here and that were passed, okay, contracts. So I would presume at that time that who's ever were voting on it had the information that they were satisfied with to vote on it. Those were passed. That's not what I'm talking about now. Now is that there's some issues that have since transpired and things that had to be done that we had to sign confidentiality agreements, number one. Number two, we had to file suit against our insurers, our property insurers, because of a prescription deadline and we hadn't got paid. That's number three. And number four is that there is, he's got on here about the RFP process and about the RFP concerning issues at the power plant. That is, we cannot discuss public because it's out currently for an RFP, and there's some other issues that have occurred that I found out about, okay, that needs to be discussed in executive session. So what you're talking about that transpired in the past and about in the agreements, I presume at that time when it was voted on, that everybody would voted on it was satisfied that they knew what they were voting on. Okay, I mean, what I'm saying is the agreements, I don't know specifically what you're talking about. I do remember coming to a meeting, I do know every week, every time we have a meeting, that contracts are approved and passed. Okay, now if there's questions asked, all of us up here try to answer them. Okay, I mean, the staff answers them to my knowledge. But I'm talking about what's on this agenda tonight, not what's in the past. I'm talking about what's on the agenda. Okay.
Well, listen, we up here have full faith and credit in the administration that what you bring to us is what you bring it to us that needs to be done. Okay. All we're asking, I think, all of the impetus behind this is, do we have a written document from MISO, LIPA, some authority that said we needed a temporary power plant? I don't see how that affects a lawsuit that's going on right now, and I'm not an attorney, but we voted on that, and all we're asking is, do we have a document that says that? Or do we have the word? Okay.
Mr. Aber, you turned off your mic. It's on now.
All right. Again, okay, I am recommending that because of the litigation and claims, there are claims made, understand, all right, we have made FEMA claims and we have outstanding FEMA claims. We have made insurance claims. All of these questions cannot be answered in one, okay? These are claims. And nobody walks in and tells you to file a claim, okay? All right, your insurance company didn't go to your house and say, you had hurricane damage here, I'm telling you to come make a claim. You have to make the claims, all right? Now, then that ought to take it to the next logical level. And what I'm saying is, I don't mind, and Candace and I are ready and prepared to answer questions in executive session. We have some issues that have to be discussed in the executive session.
But I'm not even referring to a claim. I'm referring to the initial thing for us to decide that this had to be done. I'm not saying that we should not have done it. I'm just asking, do we have a written document, an email, a piece of paper that said, you guys in Terrebonne Parish need to do this, and then you need to file with FEMA for reimbursement?
And
that's all we're asking.
And that is all part of the scope that needs to be discussed in executive session.
We'll
All
go to
right,
executive
so
session.
Mr.
That's fine.
Aber, Miss Candace actually has a comment on that.
I'm good.
No, you're good. Okay. Mr. Aber, if we go into executive session, will you answer all of their questions?
I'm not gonna.
Can you press your button again, please?
First of all, am I gonna answer every question? No, but I'm gonna bring, Ms. Malden's I'm gonna designate the people that are coming in there that I think can answer the questions.
Okay,
And
that's
if
it.
they can't answer the questions, we're gonna write it down and we're gonna get an answer to it. But
Okay.
I think we can give direction so that everybody understands it, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Abear. And so we do have an executive session here on our agenda tonight. However, we do have some other agenda items, and I have a feeling we're gonna be in executive for a long time. So can we possibly make a motion to go into?
Motion that we deviate to item 4A and continue through with the remainder of the agenda and come back to item 3C as the last item.
I have a motion to deviate our agenda by Mr. John Amity and a second by Mr. Dirk Gidry. Members, can you please vote your machines? We have 9 yeas. We're going to go ahead and deviate. Item 4, public wishes to address the council. I do have 2 speaker cards. My first is Miss Wanda Triggs wishes to address the council relative to the Mardi Gras ordinance and an incident that occurred on Main Street Mardi Gras Day. Miss Triggs? Miss Triggs, give us 1 moment to be able to set the mic. And thank you so much for waiting tonight. It's been a long meeting. All right, you can go ahead and get started. Please start by introducing yourself and giving your address.
Could you pull
Sorry.
the mic down a little bit? There you go.
Sorry.
My name is Wanda Triggs. I live at 231 DeRusso Street, Houma, Louisiana, 70364. It's my son Roman. He's 9. I'm here to address what I consider a quality of life issue in Terrebonne Parish. On Mardi Gras Day, the children that I was with, and I live in District 5, but I was actually in District 2 watching the parade with some family, were thrown milk-bone dog biscuits, off of floats by the crew of Homeless. So I want to make clear that although this issue involves the crew of Homeless parade, it is an issue that plagues more than one Mardi Gras crew and the items that they throw. I also want to make clear that I feel that the true organizers and leadership of these organizations do not condone the behavior in question. Yet, much like parents and children, you inherit the responsibility for and of your constituency's actions. We all know what Mardi Gras is and what it's supposed to be for the people of this parish and for the children of this parish. Parades in general are supposed to be a festive time. It should never be a time that casts self-doubt, not belonging, unwantedness, fear, or hate in the hearts of brown and black children in Terrebonne Parish. My son asked me, why did they do that, Mom? Why did they throw that to us? It's a horrible thing to have to explain. I inquired about policies and ordinances to have punitive damages or punitive punishment for these things. I learned that there are already ordinances regarding Mardi Gras, and they seem to be pretty good ordinances, if you ask me. So I just don't know why they aren't being enforced. I know that one of the ordinances that the police like to make issue of is people should not throw back at the float riders. If that is part of the ordinance that you are enforcing, you can't overlook Ordinance 7120, 1931, 1952. It says that, they shouldn't be throwing offensive items either. It also says that there's a Mardi Gras committee that's supposed to approve the throws, and that if they violate that they should be probated for a year and then not allowed to ride the next year. So I'd like to ask that this council consider, having a Mardi Gras committee meeting and making sure that these ordinances are revived on both sides. If I'm going to say that some people were angry, some people threw back, some people wanted to throw back. I discourage people from throwing back. I was told that in another time, this happened a few years ago with another crew. They didn't have documentation, we didn't have video, we didn't have pictures. I did all of that.
Yeah. We
Motion to extend, second.
we have a motion to extend by Mr. Darren Gidry and a second by Mr. Dirk Gidry. Members, vote your machines. We have 9 yeas. We're going to extend your time. Give us 1 moment so that we can turn the microphone back on. It's a new system and it automatically cuts off. You're on now, Ms. Triggs.
Okay. So, I just want to say, I don't think that these people are going against their own crew's rules. I talked to the, Mr. Boudreau from, the Crew of Homeless. They also they promulgating division in our community that we don't need, okay? And they don't deserve to ride. They don't deserve to ride, you know? And, I don't think that, some of these crews are gonna be highly disappointed if they get charged or whatever. I mean, we pointed out the float numbers, we pointed out the position that they were at, we took pictures. So I would like to see them arrested. I'd like to see them unable to ride. And if you can't control your riders, I think, you know, if we enforce the ordinance as it is, then it will force people to self-police their own crews a lot better. And, you know, you won't have people that are, you know, wanting to throw back. Because I can't say that if nothing is done, that I will keep discouraging people not to throw back. How can you, you know, ask people to be insulted and to continue for that to happen? So I'm here tonight because, you know, my son was a little disappointed and some of the other children that I was with. But when he remembers this incident, as he surely will as an adult, I want him to remember that, you know, I came forward to try to do something, you know, and I want him to remember that you did something too.
Thank you, Ms. Triggs. And we do have a few lights, so
Okay.
just hold tight. Mr. Trosclair?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Triggs, I totally sympathize with you. I've been a member of Hercules for 23 years, and I do know that there have been people in our club that have done crazy, stupid things. And the laws are there, the ordinances are there. We create the laws as a council here, and there are enough laws to control this. You know, we have to get law enforcement to take a more active role in getting these guys off the floats at the time it's happening. I mean, they have the authority to pull them off the floats, and I agree with you 110%. You know, that needs to happen, and it needs to start happening because the more it goes on, the more bold and brash these people are getting on these floats, you know. And, you know, granted, you know, a lot of people have been drinking all day and they don't normally wouldn't do that kind of stupid things. But when you throw something like that, you planned that because you had it on the float.
Right.
So when you put that on your float, you wasn't drunk then. So that's not an excuse. So, you know, I really think, you know, that you should bring your concerns, and I'll definitely do it. And, you know, to our new chief, our sheriff, those are the guys that can make that part of it happen. We're not an enforcement group, you know. Government is not, we don't enforce it. We make the laws, we're the legislative body. But I totally agree with you, and I think something should be done because, you know, I don't like the Crew of Hercules getting a bad name for 5 or 6 people or a dozen people being stupid on the floats.
That's right.
Saying I'm sure the majority of the Crew of Homeless don't either.
Right.
But you do have, you know, you got to accept the responsibility of what's happening on there. So, you know, I applaud you for coming here and bringing up your concerns, but I think we need to also interact with our law enforcement because they're the organizations that can make what you're asking to happen. We've already got the laws there. And, you know, if there's something else we need to introduce as an ordinance, I'll be glad to do it. But, you know, looking at the ordinances, I think we pretty much covered it, you know, or previous councils have covered it, but we hadn't made any ordinances since I'm on the council. But, you know, there's not much more we can do without any enforcement that's going to change anything as far as the council, other than talk to our sheriff and our chief, because they're the ones that enforce the whole parade route. But thanks for coming, and I appreciate your concerns.
Thank you, Mr. Trosclair. I have a few more lights. Mr. Carl Harding. I'm so sorry. There, you're on.
Okay, I think the first thing we should do is don't we have a Mardi Gras committee appointed by the chair?
Yes, Mr. Harding, I was going to discuss that at the end. Yes, sir.
Okay, then. So
Yes, sir.
well, we can start there.
Yes, sir. We do, and actually, Mr. Steve Trosclair is the chairman of that committee. I'm not sure if you knew that, Steve, but he is the chairman of that committee, and so he would be the one to go ahead and start those conversations with law enforcement and possibly bring in the Mardi Gras crews as well, to have that meeting and to start that. So,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I feel comfortable to say these Mardi Gras crews don't want that.
mhm,
They don't,
Yeah.
you know.
right.
But and for sure, I sympathize with you. You know what I mean? It happened in my district. Second time something like that happened in my district. It's like a person that's riding down the street in the car. Someone in the back seat throws something out the window. Who's responsible?
Like, this is not a souvenir. My
Yeah,
child should bring home from the
yeah.
parade.
But the scenario is the fact that I'm pretty sure the carnival uh, let's say crew of homeless, okay? They have individual floats. Those floats have float captains. And my understanding of it, they load those floats up. So that float captain somehow or another have a responsibility. Now, we can blame it on the alcohol if we want, you know what I mean? But then the old saying is drunk man speak a sober mind. So therefore, to look at it that way, you know, to have this kid, this young man over here, affected by this, you got to understand it affects people for a lifetime. I think we had something like this to come up before, you know, and of course, like Mr. Trustclass said, you know, man, the Mardi Gras crews don't want that. You know, man, there's a lot of money coming in to Terrebonne Parish, and to have something like this, there were other areas that have something similar to this. But then I think we should handle this is through the policing of themselves, and then you've done a wonderful job knowing the float from prior experience, knowing what float it was, what the position of the person was, and anyone else that goes through that. Make sure you get a report and go to the nearest police officer to actually have that offender actually sought out to have the full penalties that are necessary. You know, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Mr. Babin?
Yes, Ms. Triggs, thank you very much for coming. You're going to be the catalyst here to get something moving in the right direction. I've been on the council 7 years. I really don't remember, and we possibly had, I don't remember anybody coming up here with as much passion and as articulate as you about what happened, all right? We do have a new chief, all right? We do have members up here that belong to the crews. We do have a committee that Mr. Trosclair is the chairman, and that's where we're gonna start, is discussing is this, and then I'm sure what they'll do is they'll have a representative from each club, and if it means us asking those club members to come up here while it's on camera and say that they're gonna police themselves, you started that. So I applaud you for that, okay? And this should not happen in 2023. It's terrible.
No.
But thank you for coming up here, and I think you'll see that some action will be taken, okay? Because like I said, Mr. Trosclair doesn't want to get a bad name for another crew, all right? Or for somebody in his own crew even, all right?
Right.
So it needs to be self-policed, and like we said, we have a sheriff that's proactive, and we have a new, and not that the other chief was not proactive, but we have a new chief, so it's time that things, it is the time that things can start anew, so to speak. So thank you
Awesome.
again.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Mr. Tillman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. And Ms. Triggs, thank you as always, and certainly thank you for your advocacy. Madam Chair, I'm asking at this time that committee get together, and Mr. Trusclair, he's the chairperson of that committee. I ask that committee get together, also get that information from Ms. Triggs, have the meeting, and call those individuals in. We must not allow this situation to move forward. So, Ms. Trigg, we appreciate it if you get with the committee. They're going to contact you and give them all the information and photos that you have so we can go ahead on and put this situation to rest. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And Ms. Triggs, I do appreciate you bringing this up to our attention tonight. And what a great role model you're being for your son to advocate for not only yourself but your community. It's really wonderful to see that. And if you could reach out to our staff tomorrow and send your information, they'll go ahead and send your information to Mr. Trosclair,
Okay.
and then that way we can start getting the ball rolling on
All
this.
right. Thank
Thank
y'all
you so
very
much. I
much.
appreciate it.
All right.
All right. We have another speaker card, Mr. Anthony Rainey. He wishes to address the council related to pickleball versus AAU basketball and the use of the gym. And give us 1 moment to turn on your microphone. And okay, and I just want to let you know real quick, we do have a new system, and so it gives you 3 minutes to speak. You'll see a yellow light when you're almost there, a red light, and then the microphone's gonna shut off. And we had that point can give you a little extra time, but I just want to let you know to be mindful of those lights on there. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Anthony Rainey, 3593 A Highway 316 in Gray, Louisiana. We having a problem with pickleball and AAU with the use of the gyms. Pickleball is using the gyms more than AAU basketball. And they want to charge the AAU basketball kids money to use the gym. Pickleball is not a TPR sport, nor is AAU. So why is one organization having the use of these recreation facilities and the other ones have to pay? And I want to ask each and every one of you 9 council members to put this on agenda for the 29th. And we can have that recreation director get over here and explain some of this situation to us. Why does this whole organization have rights over the other organization? So can I get a commitment from one of y'all to get this put on the agenda and have that recreation director here on the 29th?
Mr. Harding.
If you want to create a agenda item, that can be done. If you want to discuss something, then you go to proper procedure to actually put it on the agenda, and that can happen. Yes.
Well, what I'm asking probably, then I called from his domain today. So what do I need to do? Who I need to send this out to? Who I need to put it on?
So Mr. Rainey, we actually have a Parks and Recreation Subcommittee, and Mr. John Amity is the chairman of that. So I would recommend that you reach out to Mr. John Amity first, and have the conversation with him.
I'm reaching out to him now. I want this put on agenda. I want no discussion. I want this here in front of the council, in front of everyone, so we can get it ratified.
I understand that, sir. I'm going to encourage you to call Mr. John Amity tomorrow, and he will get that taken care of for you, okay?
So he will get this put on agenda.
He's going to discuss it with you and determine if he wants to put it on the agenda. Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm sorry.
We can't speak about this.
Yeah. All right. Yes. So thank you so much, Mr. Rainey, but I would encourage you to definitely call Mr. Amity tomorrow. Thank you. Appreciate it. Item 5, committee reports. Budget and Finance Committee, Mr. Dirk Gidry.
I make a motion the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Budget and Finance Committee held on March 13, 2023, and I have one public hearing. An ordinance to amend the 2023 adopted operating budget, 5-year capital outlay budget, and budgeted positions of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items and to provide for related matters. Hazard mitigation, $86,921. Animal shelter, $63,991. City Marshal, $1,138. Facility Planning and Control Valhalla Extension, Savan to 311, $2,600,000. Department of Transportation and Development, Civic Center Valhalla Roundabout, $150,000. Facility Planning and Control South Louisiana Wetland Discovery Center, $250,000. South Louisiana Wetland Discovery Center, $1,567. Information Technology, $58,466. Add one full-time content strategist, grade 208, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, March 28, 2023 at 6:30 PM.
We have a motion by Mr. Dirk Gidry and a second by Mr. Alvin Tillman. Members, please vote your machines. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Babin. Members, vote your machines. We have 9 yeas, motion passes. Item B, Community Development and Planning Committee, Mr. John Amity.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Community Development and Planning Committee held on March 13th, 2023, and I have 2 public hearings. The first is an ordinance to dedicate and accept the maintenance operation of the streets, drainage servitude, sewer, and rights-of-way for the New Isle Subdivision Phase 1, energize and accept the streetlights, and to incorporate Jean Charles Boulevard, Dordar Street, Pelican Street, and New Start Road into the enhanced 911 emergency response system for the purpose of providing a better means of locating addresses and calling a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, March 29, 2023 at 6:30 PM. The second is an ordinance authorizing the parish president to accept and execute on behalf of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government as grantee a drainage servitude agreement to install a culvert crossing Bayou Terrebonne over TPC's existing Louisiana Revised Statute 38:113 servitude and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, March 29, 2023 at 6:30 PM.
We have a motion by Mr. John Amity and a second by Mr. Gerald Michel. Members, vote your machines. We have 9 yeas, motion passes. Item C, Public Services Committee, Mr. Carl Harding.
Yeah, I make a motion that the council accept and ratify them.
Hit request to speak. Turn them on.
Yes, I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Public Service Committee held on March 13th, 2023. I have 2 public hearings. The first one is an ordinance to authorize the parish president to execute a lease agreement to Montague Boat Launch, which will replace and extend the current lease of the Montague Boat Launch to provide it for the public recreation boat launch in Montague and call for a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, March 29, 2023 at 6:30 PM. I have the second one, an ordinance to authorize the acquisition of property sites or servitudes required for Country State Bridge Replacement Project, LADOTD project number H 011399, authorize the parish president to execute any and all documents necessary to acquire sites, property, and/or servitudes for said purpose, and call for a public hearing on the matter on Wednesday, March 29, 2023 at 6:30 PM.
We have a motion by Mr. Carl Harding and a second by Mr. Steve Trosclair. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, motion passes. Item D, Policy, Procedure, and Legal Committee, Mr. Gerald Michel.
Thank you. Make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Policy, Procedure, and Legal Committee held on March 13th, 2023, and I have no public hearings.
We have a motion by Mr. Michel and a second by Mr. Dirk Gidry. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, motion passes. Item 6, streetlights. No action needed. As per, no action needed. Item 7, vacancies to various boards, committees, and commissions. Fire Protection District Number 5 Board, 1 expired term. Fire Protection District Number 6 Board, 1 vacancy due to resignation. Fire Protection District Number 8 Board, 2 expired terms. Bayou Blue Fire Protection District Board, 1 expired term. Coteau Fire Protection District Board, 1 expired term. TITA, 2 expired terms. Terrebonne Parish Tree Board, 3 vacancies due to resignations. Monthly Engineering Report. Except as submitted. Mr. Carl Harding, do you have a light on that one?
Tubes. I actually brought this up some time back. We're looking at a project that's been, I actually started out like 20-some years ago, right? And that's the Mount Pilgrim Forest Drainage Area, 6th Street Humphreys. Could you give me a little more information on that later on at a later date? I think I spoke with you in reference to that before. Yeah, just to get a little follow-up on that. Having to read it again, you know. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Item 9, announcement. Oh, so, I'm sorry. Members, vote your machines. 9 yeas, motion passes. Item 9, announcements. Is there any parish president announcements? No. We do have a few announcements by the parish council. Mr. Jules Aber, do you have an announcement? No. Okay, all right. Mr. Babin.
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. First of all, there is absentee voting going on right now for an election for a council seat. I think it goes on through Saturday, so I wanted to make that announcement. Also, this will be the 3rd annual buyer cleanup in Grand Kaya this weekend. Keep Terrebonne Beautiful, and a number of people in the Dulac area sponsor this every year and work hard to try to clean up the area. So if you get a chance, come down to the Anchor Church on 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Mr. Michel.
Thank you. I want to comment on something related to something that was discussed earlier, which is the Mardi Gras committee. I went to a parade, and I have physical limitations still that I'm trying to crawl out from under. Okay, went to a parade, crossed the street so I could be on the side where my son was, and the lady there said, "Are you waiting for somebody on this side?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she says, "Okay, because after they pass, I'd appreciate it if you'd move on." And I said, "Really? Why is that?" She says, "Because I rented this space." And I said, "Ma'am, I assure you, you did not rent the shoulder of the state highway from anyone, and no one has the authority to rent it to you." So, the Mardi Gras committee might want to keep that in mind to maybe identify in some way regulations regarding renting property adjacent to the parade route. To whatever degree we can do that. So I just wanted to mention that. And secondly, please, for those who are able and willing, please don't forget to give blood for those who are in need. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Michel. Mr. Steve Trosclair.
Yes, while we're talking about parades, I want to invite everybody to come to Houma for the annual Irish Italian Parade, which will be held Sunday at 1 o'clock, starting at the Canadas parking lot. And I'm not quite sure where. I think at Town Hall is where it ends at. So, I'm sure we'll have some good throws, in the form of vegetables and fruits and stuff. So it's always good to try to come to the parade and get your soup material so you can make a soup. It's supposed to be cold next weekend, so you'll need that soup.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alvin Tillman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just like to announce that on Friday, March 17th, at Southdown Middle School, there will be a STEM program going to be held there: science, technology, engineering, and math. And the speaker for that event will be Dr. H, Dr. K, Renee Hawthorne, and is in memory of Freddie H and Vernice Evans Douglas. And if anybody out there, Freddie Douglas and his wife. Freddie Douglas was and his wife was strong advocates for education. And I'm quite sure you can probably see Mr. Douglas walking up and down Tunnel Boulevard handing out information on Southern University because he loves Southern. So if you get a chance, come out to that event at Southdown Middle School on the 17th, and I think it starts at 7. So come on out. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Tillman. Mr. Harding.
Yeah, he taught me how to play chess too, and he was my algebra teacher. Great guy and a relative. March 16, 2023, Thursday, 6 p.m., Mount Calvary Baptist Church, 4907 Bayeside Drive, Chauvin, Louisiana. Louisiana case managers will be there in the workforce group. There's still help in some areas for people. And then there are pockets of people that are out there. We're still trying to find those people out there and give some assistance to them. So even though it's down there at Mr. Guidry's, Doug Guidry's area, he's aware of that. You know what I mean? It's going to be at the Mount Olive Baptist Church, 4907 Bayeside Drive. Thank you very much. And one more thing. I'm praying for everybody up here. Thank you.
We appreciate that, Mr. Harding. And I would like to make just a couple quick announcements. I know Mr. Babin had mentioned early voting, but Election Day is March 25th, so we will not see you guys before then. And on the ballot is that District 1 seat. And there are so many events coming up, I can't even name all of them, but one that is sponsored specifically by Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government on March 25th is the Easter egg extravaganza, going to be at Bayou Country Sports, the Sportsplex. So please bring your kiddos out there. So if we don't have any more announcements, I'll move on. Item 10, notice of meetings. Announcement, please be advised that the parish council may consider resolutions calling for an election with regard to taxes after I'm sorry, Ms. Triggs, you were supposed to read this. Okay. After a public hearing to be held on April 12th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. Council Meeting Room, Government Tower, 8026 Main Street, Houma, Louisiana. Ms. Triggs.
Notice of tax proposition. Certificate of Public Announcement. I, Tammy E. Triggs, do hereby certify and confirm that on March 15, 2023, during a meeting of the Terrebonne Parish Council, acting as the governing authority for Road Lighting District Number 7 of the Parish of Terrebonne, State of Louisiana, a public announcement was made by March 15, 2023, that the governing authority may consider the call of an election with regards to taxes after a public meeting to be held on April 12, 2023 at 6 p.m. at its regular meeting place, Council Meeting Room, Government Towers, 8026 Main Street, Houma, Louisiana.
Thank you, Ms. Triggs. Mr. John Amity.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion to add on pursuant to Section 2-73 and 2-98 of the Parish Code. Parish President Gordon E. Dove requests acceptance of his recommendation to appoint Ms. Kelly Sava and Mr. Elton F. Duncan III as Assistant Parish Attorneys.
We have a motion to add on by Mr. John Amity, a second by Mr. Dirk Gidry. Members, I'm sorry, public once, public twice, 3 times public. Motion to close by Mr. Dirk Gidry, second by Mr. John Amity. Members vote. We were supposed to vote for the add-on. Yes, yeah, we were supposed to vote for the add-on first. So can we please re-vote for the add-on?
I thought that's what we were voting.
Okay, all right. Sorry, got confused, Mr. Babin. All right, so all right. So we've now voted for the add-on. Yes, we did. Okay, yes, sir. Mr.
Why
Michel.
is this a last-minute add-on?
Mr. Aver.
The parish was, I collected from our insurer in excess of over $1 million for the damage that was done by Terrebonne. The insurer's coming in with their own attorney to subrogate part of the claim. We probably collected 90% of the money. And then they want to bring in their own attorney to be co-counsel with us and to represent the subrogee. And so the charter requires that when we bring on special attorneys in the name of the parish, that they have to be named as assistant parish attorneys by the parish attorney and confirmed by the council. She's coming on now because we're in litigation in federal and state court, and they are coming on now. They've already started working, so I want to get this confirmed and done as soon as possible.
Okay, and in the spirit of working with administration, I'm going to vote yes.
All right. So members, vote your machines. All right, so we have just voted to add it on. So can we get a motion now?
Motion to close.
No, you have to make a motion to. We did public. Now we have to make. Okay, all right. All right, okay, all right. Public once, public twice, third time public. Motion to close by Mr. Dirk Gidry, second by Mr. Carl Harding. Motion to adopt by Mr. Steve Trosclair.
We got to vote to close.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Mr. Jules, you have a comment?
Yeah, you vote to put the ad on first, and then you vote to.
We did that.
okay, as an add-on.
Yeah, yeah. Too many chiefs. Yeah. Uh, has everybody voted? Okay. Okay, we have 9 yeas. It has been added, and public has been closed.
Steve, go ahead.
All right. All right, motion to adopt by Mr. Steve Trosclair and a second by Mr. Carl Harding. And Mr. Michelle, do you still have a comment? Okay, all right. All right, vote your machines. 9 yeas, motion passes. No, we're going to executive session. It's not an add-on. It was already in executive session. All right. Okay. Hey, we're not done, guys.
Hold on, guys. We still got to
Hey,
vote, guys.
hey, all right. Sorry. Item C, pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 42:16-17, the parish council may, upon two-third affirmative vote, convene into executive session to discuss the following: litigation situation regarding the temporary power plant, Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government versus Starstone Specialty Insurance Company et al., docket number 194485, the 32nd Judicial Court, Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana. We need a motion first.
Steve did.
Okay, all right. I have a motion by Mr. Steve Trosclair, second by Mr. Dirk Gedry. Members, vote your machines. Oh, Mr. Gerald Michelle, you have a comment? Okay. Can you press your button again, please, Mr. Michelle? Okay, all right.
Okay, I am going to vote against this, but should it pass, I want it on the record that I will not be going into executive session because I'm not going to be stifled by what I'm able to say in the event I get information from other sources, or already have information from other sources. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Michelle. Members, vote your machines. We have 9 yeas and 1 nay. I'm sorry, 8 yeas. Yeah, it's very late, guys. Past my bedtime. I'm sorry, Mr. Jules, can you please announce? I'm sorry, you turned your light off. All right. Hey, Jules, stop pressing it. Press it one time. All right, now.
The designees for executive session will be the parish president, the council, Candace Malden, CFO, Julia Saber, parish attorney, and Mike Tukes, parish manager.
Can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Dirk Gidry, and I have a unanimous second. Members, vote your machines.
Already voted.
Good night, everyone.